after second preference votes were coming in, the latest polls coming in at 61 for Khan, 39 for yourself in the latest poll. And of course, it's only a snapshot. But is there for you an element that actually this has run away from you a little bit, this campaign? It's been very difficult without the support of the party to generate that momentum.
I'd say no. I said I've had the support of the party all the way along because, of course, I was selected by the members, and that's where your real support comes from. Boris has come out for me, he's raised money for me, he's come out on the streets for me, and that's fine. And I think now that we're in this final stage, Londoners are starting to make the choice. They're starting to ask themselves questions about, can we continue with 5 years of failure? Another 3 we can't afford, and I can see that change coming. Of course, the only poll that really matters is May the 6th.
Where do you see yourself on May the 7th?
City Hall.
Really?
City Hall, yeah. Look, you can't fight for this for 2.5 years, really 3. You can't have all the backing you've had from the people around you and have any other plan. I don't have a plan B. This is plan A, the only plan, and we'll push for City Hall. It's as simple as that.
And if you don't get City Hall?
I'll continue to serve Londoners. Remember,
on the London side.
In any way I can find that's relevant to Londoners. Remember, you're talking about someone who's been a youth worker for 20 years. I then went into community work and then into politics. I've always worked for Londoners. I enjoy it. It's great fun. I'll just continue to do that.
And how damaged do you think, or otherwise, you've been by the events of the last couple of weeks, and also, of course, going back even further when it comes to the Sewell Report and on race disparity? Do you think that that's had an impact on your campaign?
Let's separate those things out. I think the Sewell Report simply hasn't, and I think people who've gone
hasn't impacted your campaign.
No, people who've gone after it have gone after it in a political manner, and I know this because nobody's talked about the recommendations in the report. They've just talked about what they don't like. Of course, as a black...
So you like the report?
Yeah, the report resists. Some of the recommendations are absolutely stellar, and we should follow them through.
Like what?
Things like extended school days. I think for me personally, growing up, an extended school day would have been very useful because I'm dyslexic. It would have helped a lot. But my point being, as a black man running in London, I don't need to convince anyone of any sort of relationship or understanding with racism. I don't think people feel they need to ask me those questions. When you talk about the state of the party, of course, whatever's going on in the political firmament has an effect. But there's a positive effect as well because of the vaccine programme. Londoners in particular, because we have such big ethnic communities and we're affected so heavily by it, have hugely welcomed the success of the vaccine programme.
Where do you think this campaign has gone right, and where do you think it's gone wrong?
I think the tougher things have been we've just had to run for so long. And I'm not even talking about the year extension.
But, because you were selected early, weren't you?
Yes.
Because they felt they'd made a mistake with... The last time around was Zach Goldsmith selecting him late and not giving him enough time to bed in and to get to know London and Londoners to get to know him.
I would argue next time we should go for somewhere between those two points. That has made it tough in all manner of ways. On a personal level, just to keep my family going. Fortunately for me, my wife... I have the full backing of my wife. The other thing is to raise money over that period of time. It's been a colossal effort, and we've made it, but it sometimes is distracting. I think the things that have gone right, I have picked the issues.
Would it have been distracting? Would it have been distracting if you'd had more support from the party? If somebody from the party had said, actually, here's a larger pot of money, have this pot of money.
It doesn't work like that. I've always understood that I had to raise my own money. Boris had to, Zach had to, Stephen Norris before him had to as well.
Zach Goldsmith's a multimillionaire.
Well, that's my point. I'm not. And that's why I say, for me, it was quite challenging. But I did it, and like I say, nobody in life is ever giving me anything. I get my boots on and I get working, and we made it happen. And I think that distraction around money, that distraction around time, because just to create interest with people like you over a 2.5 year period is quite a feat. So, but we've done that. We made that happen. I think where we nailed it is we picked the issues that Londoners actually care about. So we were talking about crime, we were talking about housing, we're talking about the environment, but in a very particular way. I've been very clear that I'm not some slick, well-trained lawyer-type politician. We already have one of those. I'm someone who comes from the street, who works with community and understands how to deliver. So I've been speaking in those terms. My manifesto is fully costed. All it needs to deliver my manifesto is for me to get elected and the political will to do it. The second is already there. We have the will. I think Londoners have the will for change. It's just about getting elected. But I've been very clear about what I want to do, and I think Londoners have responded to that.
And where do you... With Sadiq Khan, do you think there was something that stuck out he said in one of the debates where he was asked by the presenter just to say something nice about you. The presenter actually just said, asked for you to say something nice about him, and you made a complimentary comment about the Mayor of London. But when the Mayor was asked to say something nice about you, he couldn't do it. Do you think this campaign has been slightly vicious?
But look, Theo, I come from a place where people pull a knife on you. Sadiq Khan is the least of my worries in the world. He doesn't bother me. And I think he has carried himself how he wants to. For me, this isn't personal, Theo. This isn't about me. It's not even about Sadiq Khan. It's about the people of London. So I'm able to get up in the morning, whatever policy I'm trying to launch, and make that my focus.
Have you, during this campaign or prior to this campaign, in terms of working out where you need to be, gone back to and spoken to those Conservatives you advised, it's going on 10 years now, David Cameron, George Osborne, those senior members of former, well, they're still members of the party, but senior figures within the party. Have you gone back to them and asked them for advice? Have they offered any words of advice, any words of encouragement for you?
Cameron and Osborne have both been full of personal advice and encouragement. And Cameron, David, phoned me and said, just prepare yourself because there will be some low moments. There will be some low moments. And George said to me, you've got to remember, Shaun, as the election comes to polling day, your profile will rise anyway, because obviously 2 years out, I'm George, nobody knows who I am. And he's like, Shaun, your time will come. And are you sure, George? He said, yes, I am. So, it works on that.